Hello students, today we are going to start linear correlation chapter 2nd statistics. The weightage of this chapter, that is 12 marks. One question having 5 marks. It is going to be asked in section F. That means one long question is going to be asked in section F. MCQ, answer in one line, and short question will be asked from this chapter, Statistics, chapter number 2, Linear Correlation. Now, let us understand first of all that what is correlation? What is linear correlation? First of all, let us understand one thing, that we are having, suppose, one element, that is price, and second element, that is your demand. Now, if price increases, demand decreases. This is the law. And same way, if price decreases, demand increases. That means this is having certain relationship with price and demand. That means two elements, we are having price and demand. Whenever one variable changes, if any value of one variable changes, it affects to your second variable. Same way, if second variable, that means if one variable, this decreases, the same way second variable, the value of second variable, that increases. Now let us understand second observation, second example, that is fertilizer and production or productivity of crops. If you are using more fertilizer, the crops, that means production of crops, increases. If the your consumption of fertilizer reduces, the production of crops also reduces. That means what? If one variable increases, second variable also increases. If the value of one variable decreases, second value of a variable is also going to decrease. That means when one variable increases and the value of second variable decreases, that is called as negative correlation. Same way, if the value of one variable increases and the same way the value of second variable is also increases, that is called as positive correlation. That means, second example, suppose the rainfall. If rainfall increases, production of crops increases. If rainfall decreases, production of crops decreases. That means this is having relationship with these two variables. That means whenever two variables will be having any relation, that is called as correlation. Now, let us define correlation. That means if simultaneous changes occurs in the values of two related variables due to direct or indirect causes, then it can be said that there exists correlation between the variables. That means simultaneous changes. If price increases, it affects to demand. That demand decreases. If price decreases, then demand increases. At the same time, if the use of fertilizer, if fertilizer uses, that means consumption of fertilizer is more, then crops of production, that is going to be increased. If it reduces, the consumption of fertilizer reduces, the production of crops, that also reduces. That's why this element is X and this element is Y. That means whenever any independent variable, that is always been considered as X, and dependent variable will always be considered as Y. Production of crops, that relates to fertilizer. That means the usage of fertilizer, that is main important thing for the production of crops. Demand depends upon the price. That means if value of variable price increases, then and then only the demand changes. That's why independent variable, that is X, and dependent variable is Y. Demand depends on price. Production of crops depends upon fertilizer. Production of crops depends upon the rainfall. That's why independent variable is being treated as X and dependent variable is being treated as your Y. Now, with the help of this correlation, the measure of closeness of linear correlation, closeness, that means these two variables X and Y. What is the closeness between two variables X and Y? The measures, numeric measures between two variables, closeness of linear correlation between two random variables X and Y is called as correlation coefficient. And correlation coefficient is been denoted by small r. That means the measures of two variables X and Y, closeness of two variables X and Y, that is been denoted as correlation coefficient and it has been denoted by R. Let us understand with the help of method to find out correlation coefficient. First method, that is Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient, which is correlation coefficient is denoted by R. Simple formula is there. So just understand properly. If the values of X and Y are small, that means you can calculate these values without using calculator. That means square of your values can be done without using calculator. Then you are supposed to use this formula, that is R is equal to n sigma xy minus one bracket, that is sigma x into sigma y, upon first under root n sigma x square minus sigma x the whole square, second root n sigma y square minus sigma y the whole square. N means number of observations. Now n means number of observations. How to solve the sum to find out correlation coefficient? By using such formula. Whenever such formula is going to be used, the columns which you are going to prepare, that is X, Y, we required X square. That's why this is X square, Y square and XY. The total of X, that is sigma X. Total of Y, that is sigma Y. Total of X square, that is sigma X square. Total of Y square, that is sigma Y square, and total of XY, that is sigma XY. Now, the total which we found, that is going to be used in your formula, and you are about to find out correlation coefficient. This is by when the values of X and Y are small. That means whenever the values of X and Y in a single digit. Okay, the square of X and Y can be done without using your calculator. Then the easiest method to find out correlation coefficient, that is R is equal to n sigma xy minus sigma x sigma y upon first root n sigma x square minus sigma x the whole square, second root n sigma y square minus sigma y the whole square. Now let us understand second formula. The thing is that suppose the values of X and Y are big or large or in a 2 digit, 3 digit or 4 digits, which cannot be squared without using calculator. That means suppose if you want to square the values, then you must have to use calculator. That means first of all, find out that whether the values of X and Y are big. Okay, done. That means what? If values of X and Y are large, then first step is to find out X bar and Y bar. If the values of X bar and Y bar are perfect. Perfect means suppose the values of X bar. Suppose the values of X bar, that is 25. Perfect figure. Okay. Or 10. Perfect figure. Or suppose 50. That is perfect figure. That means whenever the values of X bar or Y bar are perfect, that means that is not in integer or that is not in fraction, then you are supposed to use the formula to find out correlation coefficient, that is R is equal to sigma x minus x bar into y minus y bar upon first root sigma x minus x bar the whole square, second root sigma y minus y bar the whole square. How to solve this sum? Prepare format, prepare table. First thing, that is x, y. Third column, that is x minus x bar, y minus y bar. Next column, that is x minus x bar the whole square. That means square of this thing, whatever the value which we have got. That is x minus x bar the square, y minus y bar the square, and multiplication of x minus x bar, y minus y bar. That comes to x minus x bar, y minus y bar. Now, third formula, the same way. If the value of x and y are large, that is main thing. Find out, next step, that is to find out x bar and y bar. If the value of x bar and y bar are perfect, then this formula. And if the value of x bar and y bar are in fraction, suppose the values of x bar and y bar are in fraction. Fraction means if in case x bar is equal to 4.5, suppose 22.75, okay, suppose 9.73. That means whenever the value of x bar or y bar are in fraction, are in point, then you are supposed to use shortcut formula to find out correlation coefficient, that is R is equal to n sigma uv minus sigma u sigma v upon first root n sigma u square minus sigma u the whole square. Second root n sigma v square minus sigma v the whole square. Once again, n sigma uv minus sigma u sigma v upon under root n sigma u square minus sigma u the whole square. Second root n sigma v square minus sigma v the whole square. This formula is similar to the formula which we have used when the values of x and y are small. N sigma xy minus sigma x sigma y. That means n sigma uv minus sigma u sigma v upon under root n sigma x square minus sigma x the whole square, n sigma u square minus sigma u the whole square under root n sigma y square minus sigma y the whole square, n sigma v square minus sigma v the whole square. That means the formula is been replaced. That means x and y are been replaced by u and v. The formula would be same. Now, to find out u is equal to x minus a upon cx, a means assumed mean, cx means common element of x, the values which are given in your x. If there will be any kind of common element, suppose the value of x is 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000, then the common element is 1000, yani 1000. Means 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000. These are common element of x. That's why it has been considered. Suppose if the common element is there, then divide by cx. If the sum has not given any kind of common element, then don't use cx. Simply x minus a. A means assume mean. Suppose if x bar is 4.5, then assume mean of this 4.5, whatever you required or whatever you like, you can take that amount as a assume mean. 4.5, that means 4 will be assume mean. 22.75, the perfect figure 22, that would be your assume mean. You may take 23, you may consider 25, you may consider 20. This is your assumed mean. 9.73, you may consider 10 as your assumed mean. That means assumed mean will be in a perfect way. Second, v is equal to y minus b upon cy. Once again, b, that is assumed mean, cy, that is common element of y. That means whenever any kind of common element of y is there, you should have to divide by cy to make your sum easier and smaller. Let us understand or go through this formula. Okay, we will solve the formula by using the questions. Okay, thank you very much.